everyone, welcome to DiamondDel8 withDel. Today's a little experimental video. I have bought myself some of this, I think it's Oho, I don't know how to say that. It is basically a UV resin. It's a single bottle, there's no mix, it's a UV resin. So yeah, this is something I found on eBay, I think, no, sorry, Amazon. This one is from Amazon. It is a no mix resin. Okay, so it is just a UV resin. It's a hard resin. It is one that cures using either sunlight or a UV lamp. I've got my old UV lamp. I can't quite get it out here. It's basically my little UV lamp. I'll be using, there it is, that I use for nail art, etc. So I can just pop that on. I think it's working. Is it working? I just unplugged it. Hang on. There we go. I just unplugged it. There we go. So just one of those little UV lamps. I'll be using one of those to cure it with. Just pop that over there. I think it's got a timer. There we go. So yeah, I'm just doing an experimental video. Pattern shot. We'll have to just redo that, won't we? But there we go. We will be using this today. I think you say it Oho. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's Arts and Crafts. It's a UV resin hard. This one's a 200-gram bottle. This is basically its features. It's a single part clear acrylic resin. It requires no mixing. Yay, love that. It cures hard with minutes under a UV or direct sunlight. So basically there's some curing times for you guys. 2 to 3 minutes using that sort of wattage of lights. I have no idea what mine is. What does mine say? Power 12 volt. What does this say? I'm reading through the... Okay, so mine says from 6 to 9, so I will need 2 to 3 minutes. There you go. So that's how you convert that. So mine's 7 watts, so it'll take mine is between 6 and 9, so 2 to 3 minutes. There we go. So there you have it. Or if you don't have a lamp, you can cure it through sunlight. It will take up to 20 to 40 minutes. So if you were doing something like that where you were curing it outside in sunlight, you might want to have some sort of bug / dust or leaf protection idea. Anyway, that's what I'll be using there for this little experimental thing. Now I also got this. Now in this packet I got some little cool little containers. Now as you can see, these little round containers look very familiar. These are sort of the ones we get our wax in. But these have some beautiful little sparkly shard stuff. Sort of a bit like what I'm looking for in glitters. Can they be opened? I'll have a look at that in anyway, I'll have a look at those in a short while and see if I can open those. They're kind of cool. But the main thing I'm looking for, oh look at those. It has some little applicators. We're not worried about those right now. What I'm actually looking for is these, and these are the molds. So these are little pendant molds. It has 3 packets in here. They are all the same little shapes. So I will just need one of those. Again, I got all this off Amazon. So I will be just using one of these for now. I don't think it rightly matters what one I might use. Maybe just a round, might be just as easy. Now these ones here have got like a little piece of plastic sticking up in the middle, as you can probably hopefully see, and that is so that it can leave a space around the resin, so you can allow a jump ring or something to put in there to make this into a jewel pendant. You can see that in there. So yeah, that's what that's for. There we go. Yeah, so we've got round, oval, you got little teardrop, square, and rectangle shapes. I think I'll just take 2 out for now. That will do to play with. These are just little silicone type molds. Nothing spectacular about those. Has some little applicator things. I think that's to help sort of draw up or whatever the heck they do. I don't know. Learn as you go. Experimental day today. Alrighty, so that's the little molds. This is my resin. I might just play with a bit of the glitter as well, just to add to the effect, which I will try and open. Now I've got all sorts of kinds of glitter, but this is the stuff that I really like. It's a flaky sort of paper style or a glass style. I think this is kind of cool. So I'm going to play with probably a little bit of that and some clear, maybe as well. But what I am using today, I'm going to be using some leftover drills. This is the sort of leftover drill project. Oh my gosh, they're going everywhere. This is my mixed tub of just dumps, basically. When I don't know what else I want to do with those drills, I'm just been dumping them into there. And I've also got that tub. And I've also got some actual rhinestone ones as well. These ones aren't mixed up, they're just single colours at the moment because I just literally finished the kit that I did the other day. So I've got just some single colours. So I haven't mixed these ones up. Whether I do or not, I don't know. I do have a tub like this with mixed rhinestone, so I could just even just get those, but this was sitting on the table, so maybe I can just do a little two-tone. Also, there's some really pretty little black sort of AB sort of ones here as well, so that could be something. So we're going to just have a little bit of fun and see if we can make a leftover drill project, which is going to be making a drill pendant, basically, using leftover drills and resin. So these ones here I thought was going to be one of the easier type of resins to use. Use one of these little lamps, whether you may have one of those as well in your house. I don't know, you might do a bit of nail art. I haven't used this product before. I have no idea how it works, but we will find out together. Because you know what, if it does work, you'll be seeing this video. If it doesn't work, you will not see this video. That is pretty much how it goes down. All right, technically you probably should be using gloves for this, but you know, I like to live dangerously, so we'll go with that. Now, when creating your design, this side of the mold is what you'll be facing. So this will be your front of your design. This will be the back, basically. So whatever you want to see prominently this side, you'll be having first. So assuming I'm going to have no idea how I want my design anyway, it really doesn't matter at that point. But I think I'll be wanting something like, you can just play around with the idea first and foremost. It's not really going to matter. But if you wanted something like that, where you want just some mixed colour, and then I could just pour the resin over top. Now you probably can't see that. I might just go back down a bit closer when I actually do this for real. But I'll probably just sprinkle something in like that, then fill it up with the resin, and just hopefully that gives me a good look. I'm just going to hope for the best for this design and see what happens if I sprinkle a little bit of the drills in rather than putting the resin in first, and see how that works. There's some interesting colours in there. Maybe I will add, I can just sit on there for the moment. Some of my tweezers probably be handier right about now too. just to the mix. I could add a couple of flakes of that glitter just to give it some sparkle. I don't think that would hurt. I'm going to use one of these just for the hell of it and just see if I can stir those things together a little bit. I think once I add the actual resin, that should actually make a difference. Hopefully that is enough additives. Now I'm going to readjust the camera. So I feel it's in a very awkward spot. Now, I have filled that roughly by half with some flakes and some leftover drills. And we're going to add now, we're going to add some resin just for fun. Now I'm going to add this fairly slowly. Moment of truth. Now the bottle is quite firm, so I really can't squeeze it. Oh, there's a bubble. Oh, it's coming out. Okay, so I'm not sure how far I should fill this up. Very firm bottle to squeeze. I actually bought this resin for my polymer clay jewellery idea, so this is just a little side experiment I decided to muck around with before I get to that. Okay, that filled up rather quickly. Now this is not what this is for, but I'm going to use it for this anyway. Now I'm just going to stir that around a bit because I want to make sure that gets into all the little nooks and crannies. Hope you can see this all right. Who knows how this will turn out, but that's okay. It's only a little bit of glitter. And a little bit of leftover drills. Could be cool, could be not. Just being careful around that little plastic bit. I'm trying to check for bubbles and evenness and all that sort of stuff, but I can't really tell how I'm going here. A bit more there, I think. I think that's all right. Now I do have a little torch thing as well, so it's supposed to fire up any of the bubbles and so forth, but I think in a bigger piece and something I actually was worried about the effect of, I would go for that. I'm going to put a couple more of those little flakes on because they're quite pretty. And even a little bit of fine glitter would be kind of cool. Just want to fill up the back, I think, a little bit. Now I've got lots and lots of cool little little bits and pieces of sticking to resin these days, glitters and things. So this is just some of the fun things I've recently purchased. But I just wanted to do this as something to do leftover drills. Maybe I can make a pretty necklace, I thought to myself. That'd be kind of cool. Just trying to get those ones to sit more the way I want them to. You know what? The smell of this is reminding me a lot back in the day when I went, I'm going back a long way too, back when I used to do plastics back in high school, or secondary school, I'll just put it that way. Holy moly. Alright, so that's that one. I'm going to put that aside now, just for the moment. Let that do its thing. I'm going to get this little mould. And what I might do with this one, you know what, I've got some of these flakes, silver flakes and stuff, because I've got some rhinestones. So you don't have to have these other things. I just sort of had them sitting on the table, so I'll just sort of dive onto it. There's gold and there's other stuff there as well. I might put a little bit of the silver flakes in this one. It's just silver. Maybe, I don't know yet. Let's put that aside. I don't know yet. Hang on. Oh golly, now look what I've done. No, no, don't want to do that. Ah! Let's get rid of some of that. Alright. So it looks like I'm going to have a little bit of silver flakage going on here, whether I want it or not now. Bearing in mind that's going to be the front of the pendant. But it's okay, it'll give me some looks. I'd rather it on the... Your brain starts thinking as it develops. Everything's very organic when I create. I like to create very organic. Sometimes it's a lot more fun than planned out. Organically, some things create more fun. And you can learn from that and then plan things out, but sometimes organic stuff is just the best stuff. I'm going to just, ooh, look at that big shard. That might be good and might not be too at the same time. And what I'm going to do is just put a little bit, try and see if this will work. More around the edge. That way I might get, what I'm hoping to do here, everybody, is I'm hoping to get like a bit of an edge around the actual pendant. Like one of those old-fashioned type pendants that's got a bit of that old style about it. It's everywhere, this stuff. Oh, look at the huge shot. Wow, jeepers. I've got you up really close, but what you really need to do is be out a little bit, because this is very intensifying stuff to work with. So these are quite big flakes. These are silver flakes, and it's quite big flakes of silver. Golly. Stuff, I don't know. And it's sticking to the mold everywhere. I've never worked with this stuff before. I don't care. I'll share it with the world. I'm amateur hour all around. Amateur hour coming at you on the hour. Not really, but there you go. Right, so my idea that just popped in my head was, what if I try and line a bit of silver to give it that really old-fashioned look pendant? Yeah, we'll see how this works. But yeah, this stuff is, yeah, literally big silver flakes. Look at that. This is more, I think, designed, oh, you can put on resin, of course, but bigger pieces than this. But beautiful to brush on artworks, big pieces of artwork. This would be lovely to give it that more vintage look. That's what the blooming word is, vintage look. I want that vintage sort of look pendant. Ta-da! It happened. The brain helped. Thank you, brain, for eventually coming to the party. Now it's stuck on my hand. This is why I said it's probably a good idea to use gloves for this idea, but you know what? Gloves are for the big. Let's go. All right, we're going to go a bit closer. Yeah, let's go and do a little bit closer work. All right, so I've put a bit of the silver flakes on the actual mold, just to give it that vintage look as we were going for. That was the plan, wasn't it? Now this is the top part of the pendant and all the rest of it. So what I might do, because it's got that layer there, I might put just a little bit of resin down, just a little bit, into the mold there. Let that settle. Roll it around, just to have a very fine cover at the front. There she goes. Whee! You can see absolutely nothing because it's clear, but hopefully it is covering, a bit of shine. Now I'm thinking we will put some of these pretty rhinestones in there. We got some reds, which would look really cool. So we can put a few, oops, a few of them. Now that's kind of doing it the fidgety way, but you could just drop them in. We want a few at least facing the right way, so I'm going to at least attempt that. Fate would have it that, you know, I'm sure some of them will drop the right way for you regardless. Look at that. Oops, he didn't go the right way. Never did he. Oh well, guess that's just fate, isn't it? Should I bother worrying about him? No. That's 3, Del. Seriously. What are you doing? Okay, so that's a bit of a fail attempt of what I'm doing. Oh, why can't I do this properly? No, it's all going wrong. What are the tweezers to the problem? Okay. I'm not going to play with it anymore because I actually tried to do something there and I think I made it worse. So I'm just going to just drop them in with my finger and hope for the best that it'll fall the way I want them to. Because you know what? This was not supposed to be a hard project. It was supposed to be a fun off the cuff and see what happens type project. So I've got some red ones in there. That's going to do. What other colour have I got? Some green. That's a bit Christmassy for me. Well, the yellow's pretty, but it's also a bit too thin. So I'm just going to add a couple of blue. So this is going to have a bluey, silvery red pendant, I think. And maybe this is going to be a bit of purple in there just for the fun of that too. And you know what? That's going to do it. And what we're going to do now, because this is called experiment number 2, we're going to add some more resin to our little concoction of leftover drills. And these are the rhinestones. So we're going to see how they work with resin. We're going to put a bit of that. Gosh, it's hard to bottle the squeeze. I'm going to do that. And then what I'm going to now do is just poke them all anyway with my little wand thing here that I got. And stir them all up anyway. So they probably would have moved regardless of how I was trying to sit them. You know what, let's throw some of these red ones back on top for the funsies. And what else am I going to do with them? This stuff is sticky too, by the way. I now got it on my fingers. Surprise, surprise! Right. That is a glorious mess. Oh, I love how it moves. Oh, now you can't see a thing. Look at that. That's so cool. Swishing around. Alright, this is nothing else fun. I'll give it that. You know what? Let's add. You could add anything you wanted to this, couldn't you? Let Del loose in the craft room and you got troubles. So we're just going to add a little bit of this purple flake stuff on the back of this one. Because why not? I think that was upside down when I opened that. I'm not really sure it was the right way, but anyway, we're good, we're good, we're good. We're just going to try and add that now onto the back of that. Now, I don't think that was probably a smart move by my calculations at this point, but, you know, that's okay. Technically, this was supposed to be originally just put some leftover drills in some resin. But, of course, there was some other sparkly things sitting on the table, so that led to me playing around and adding more stuff to the situation. So I just... I'm not sure if I'd, you know, I'm not advising that you add everything in here, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Now, I'm just probably going to have to make sure I don't drown the little plastic knobby thing up there, otherwise I won't have a hole. Rightio. Well, that is it as it is. That's my mould. Has it got air bubbles? Don't have a clue. Do I care? Not overly. It's only a small little thing. Is it sparkly? Definitely. Is it going to turn out? Well, it's like that cat, isn't it, in the box. This one's interesting. A lot clearer, not quite as dark. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and... Look at my hands. I am now going to pop them under the light for, what did it say? 2 to 3 minutes. Curing time from 6 to 9 watch. Mine was a 7, so 2 to 3 minutes. So we're going to do that now. Can I bring my little light around a bit closer so we can play together in the light? This is my light. We're going to pop them in here. One goes in there. There he goes. There we go. So I can use this little light because it's only little. Because you just use your nails, see? Alright. So we're going to put a timer on for 3 minutes. I'm not sure what time this lamp goes, but I've got my timer on. We're going to see how that goes. All right, guys. I'll be back shortly. I might go and wash my hands and clean up the rest of this bench and so forth. And we'll see how we go with this experimental day of what we can do with leftover drills that is sort of side-wide and off to what else can we use on the table and glitter. Oh, see, I'm going to have to sit here and watch this because this thing is okay, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to be watching the light by the looks of it and curing this because obviously this light goes off every 30 seconds or so. All right. But you guys will be right back shortly. Okay. Stay tuned for the results. Okay. So check that out. Hello everyone, back again. So as you can see, I after doing our little experiment there with the glitter and the leftover drills, I decided I'd make just a couple just using leftover drills. Just that. So I used one just using these. Why have I always got to get an email when I'm doing one of these videos? I don't know. It just seems to happen. So I decided I'd just use one mold using just my leftover regular drills, and I'd also just do one mold using just my leftover rhinestones. Just that, nothing else was in the mold. Okay, so we're going to see what it looks like, just that. Okay, so that was a little experiment I thought I'd do using just the same acrylic resin. This is what this is. This is not an epoxy. This is an acrylic resin, not epoxy resin. Okay, so that's what we're using today. Fun. Okay, so let's go and take a gander at what we first mucking around with. Let's be real about this. This was always experimental. So this is the two we were mucking around with, playing around with at the start there. Oh, they came out very easily. Now it's a little bit sticky. I'm not sure if that's because it's not set properly. Probably not. Is it shiny? Absolutely. I think it may need a little bit more cook time. It's not as glossy as I'd like it to be. Is the effect there? Sure. Should I probably cook it a bit more? Probably. I might have to pop it under the light, but for what it is, as I said, it's not an epoxy, it's just an acrylic. It does give a pretty groovy effect of an idea. This is just straight out of the mold, so you could polish and muck around with this and probably tie this up a lot more. Obviously I've got very rough edges here. Now somewhere along the line, there it is, there's my little hole there. It's came along really well. That has worked for me. Not a problem. It's quite tough, but the general idea has worked out quite well. So if you have some actual epoxy, you probably come up with a better gloss, I suppose, for a better word, making a pendant, but I'm not sure. I might have to just cook it a bit more. This one here is the oval. As I said, very experimental on this one. So I was going for that vintage sort of edge, trying to put a bit of, as you can see, the silver comes out of the mold easy. Oh wow, look at that. So this one had the rhinestones in it, and I was trying to do a really silvery sort of effect with this one. Again, it's got a sticky feel to it, so I'm not sure if I just need to let it cook a bit more. So now it's out of the mold. Maybe I can just do that, put it under light or put it in the sun or something and let it just harden. It's hard. I'm just wondering if it just needs to get rid of that stickiness about it. It'll just dry, hopefully. As I said, I've only just set them in the lights just for that recommended about 3 minutes. I'll probably give it a bit longer. I'm hoping it's in focus because my eyes certainly aren't. So that's just using some of that silver foil. I put that around the edge. This side's really groovy. Shame it's on the wrong side, isn't it, the way I want the effect. Maybe because the pendant is fairly simplified, you might be able to shape it the way you know, it's only one flat. How am I going to say this? Because it's not particularly orientated to either one side, you could probably shape it however you want it to face it, basically, but that's kind of cool. Very cool dimensions. Also, this has a really unique, very silvery effect. So depending how you wanted the end result to come out and what you like. Again, very shiny. Has a stick to it. I'm not sure how that'll come up, but seal it maybe and a bit of a polish and mucking around, and I'll see how that goes. Again, the hole at the top for where I can attach something has turned out really well, so that's no problem there. So that one's turned out quite well as far as that's concerned. So they're decent size, these things. They came out of the little molds very easily. Now, that was the two we worked together with and mucking around. They don't stick together or anything, so there we go. Now these ones here, whoops, I got a little bit too close and friendly, didn't I? Now this one, I just did a little teardrop shape one, and it is just using just the normal drills, just your plain standard drills. I'm hoping it's okay in here and ready to come out. Again, I didn't use any foils, any glitters, any extras, just the resin and the drills. Ooh, come back here, you nearly escaped out of my fingers. You can see it definitely has a texture from the mold coming through. Where'd that light go? There we go. Again, I have the hole at the top. You can see that's worked out really well. It's quite a unique design. You get a very 3D look. I have got some epoxy resins on order and they will come in, so I will play around with the same idea with them and see what the differences is down the track, but I just wanted to see how this would go. So just as an experimental idea what you could do with leftover drills, basically. Put the idea, I'm sure the idea is out there and I've probably seen it, but there you go. Again, it feels a little hollowed, so maybe I just need to put a fraction more in there. That's a kind of a groovy idea. Gives a very 3D effect. And of course, depending on what colours you used, if you wanted to, this is just a mixed one of course, but if you wanted to make a more single coloured pendant or something like that, you could just use the one colour. I might just leave him out of the mould now. Yeah, a little bit sticky. And this one here, I did it in a square, and of course I used just the rhinestones. You can see it's not quite covered that one at the back there. Whoops. I didn't want to move it around because I was swimming and turning around the wrong way on me a couple of times there, so I just liked how they were sitting, and I just didn't want to. Coming out of the mold super easy. I kind of like how they were sitting with a little bit of clear background and giving that really three-dimensional effect with the square. Very groovy, like that. I feel like I've got a toffee and I want to eat it. Somewhere there it is at the top there. There's the hole. But yeah, that is very unique jewelry. I can say I've got a very unique jewelry piece with that one. I really like actually these rhinestones and how they come just without anything other than the foil doesn't look too bad. I don't mind it. There's the difference there by using some of the foil pieces or just using the rhinestones. I think both are kind of effective. So if you don't have foil, the rhinestones on their own is very effective, I think. There's the promo shop. Again, and yeah, there's some differences there. Regular drills, foils, I should say. And that's with the foils with glitter and non-glitter. So yeah, you're nearly with that one. I should say that was just regular rhinestones but with foils, and you nearly get the similar effect of the rhinestones. So there you go. Alright, so that is really an interesting little experiment. I'm quite intrigued by that. I don't like how sticky the stuff is, so I'm hoping that's just because it needs some airing time, to be honest with you guys. I do hope that's just because they are fresh and they just need some more. They've only been literally casted out of the machine about 5 minutes ago, and they just need some more air time. Hopefully once they have that, they won't be so sticky. But I really like the effect. I think it's rather groovy. We'll be able to hopefully add a jump ring and some chain and make some very unique jewelry. How cool is that? Of course, if you wanted to, something like the teardrops and things, you can make too, and make some earrings, things like that. But these would be kind of cool. Plus, you could make them into other ornaments as well. You could turn some of these into pendants to wind chimes, etc. There's other ideas other than just jewelry making you could do for something like this. You know, you could even add this into a Christmas ornament style thing, or add them onto, I don't know, gift tags or something. I don't know, you could do something with it. Actually, you know what, or even a nice hair piece, you know, hair clip design thing. Yeah. Anyway, just ignore the hole. Or okay guys, so unfortunately the phone decided that I've been talking well and truly enough and went flat on me, so I do apologise for the interruption to the flow of this video. As I was rambling on about some general ideas you could use these little pendants for. Of course, imagination is the key to these sort of things, and not only can you just use them for obviously a jewellery pendant, earrings, you know, a key chain pendant and all those sort of things. Yeah, your imagination can go wild, and you can add this to anything really as such as it is. I just thought it'd be a fun little project today to play around with some leftover drills, and I had this product to play around with, and I wanted to test it out, so I thought why not. It was a good way to test the product, and also something different and fun to work on and use some leftover drills. And a leftover drill project is always fun, I feel. So it was sort of what do they say, 2 birds 1 stone, as a type situation. So this is just a product I found on Amazon myself. It is a acrylic resin, not an epoxy resin. It says here acrylic resin, not an epoxy resin. It is no mixing type thing. I purchased this myself. This is not an endorsement or anything like that, so it's just for funsies. I was wanting something to put on my polymer clay basically, because I want to play with that and just give that a nice finish, so I thought this might be easy. But yeah, I thought why not, let's have a bit of muck around, a bit of experiment, and I think it turned out pretty well, kind of fun. So yeah, it's still a little, got a bit of tack to it, but that's okay. It is getting a bit better. I'm going to wait to see how they go and let them dry a bit more, and then I've got a little polishing what do you call it, little machine thing, and I might try and see if that will bring up the edges. They're a bit rough, like with some of the drills, if you can see, are sort of sticking out and whatnot, and of course I haven't quite filled it up even, that kind of stuff. As I said, I've never done this sort of stuff before. It's all experimental. Maybe I can polish the edges up and make it just a little bit nicer, but I kind of like the effect this idea has of just the drills floating around in the resin. I also quite like the idea of putting just that that flaky, what was it, glitter stuff in it as well. That's kind of cool. This one just went crazy, didn't it? But anyway, it was a very vintage style as whatever. So yeah, you can do whatever you like and pop them in there. But yeah, just simplified, just with the drills. I think it's kind of cool 3D effect. And yeah, these were very, very simple little ideas. But yeah, give it a go. It's just a fun little idea that you could use your leftover drills for. As I said, I've got literally tons in here that I can muck around with. And get some more ideas coming and going to the channel. So I hope you enjoyed this little project or experiment, as I've said 100 times, and had a bit of fun today. Until next time, I'll say goodbye for now, but no, I won't. I'll just say see you later. And if you'd like to hit that like button, that'd be really appreciated. And don't forget to share this with your friends. That'd be also a great idea. I'm sure that they would enjoy the fun as well. And yeah, don't forget to hit the bell so you know when I upload next. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye.